Remember Death?
Yeah, Death was the highlight of the whole
Death
series
was the highlight
for me.
of that. Death
And
was
when they
hard.
came back for even the last one, like last year, it still holds up.
Bill and Ted Face the
kill it.
Music.
Yeah, but
No Bill and Ted. Wow, that should have been your honorable mention there.
They're not my go-tos.
All right.
John Wick isn't on my list either.
You
I'll tell
motherfucker, you're finna
now.
get killed.
Yeah,
Because that
I love John Wick.
do you? Because
Yeah.
it's not on your list.
I love John Wick 6th.
One topic.
I got 5 on it.
I got 5 on it. You decide on it. Today's topic is that segment of the night. Let's finish strong. Finish that segment. The next one, let's not know a little different. We're also great for the bomb.com. Matter of fact, I'm gonna watch this movie tonight because we're talking about it. That's I'm gonna start in 3, 2, 1, 3. Don't go past 5. 5. Hey, Wildcat, watch it. Durden, what are we talking about today?
Oh, pop quiz, hot shot.
Top 5. Don't get wiki on me, like Wikipedia or like John Wick.
I
Hey.
got 5.
Hey, Bill, are you my?
Ted?
See the excellent adventure party time, excellent. Woo, 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 woo. It's almost like you're my replica.
Today we are counting down the top 5.
Keanu, and not the one done by Jordan Peele.
Although Keanu Reeves was in that.
See what I did there and what we did there.
Yeah, he
Let's
was.
get
the
started.
boss.
We cannot do a better intro than that.
Let's start with your honorable mention.
Honorable mention, Keanu Reeves. Oh, man, you jumped right into it. I love that. Let's get into this, man. My honorable mention for Keanu Reeves, oh, my goodness. To be honest with you, he has so many classics that to put an honorable mention on Keanu Reeves, I mean, I guess Keanu will be my honorable mention because of the fact that, I'm serious.
All right.
Keanu's my honorable. It's a cameo, it's a cop out, but my 5 I feel really strong about.
It's a voice cameo too.
I mean,
Isn't it?
it's
Pretty sure
Keanu,
he's the
right?
voice of the cat.
What is your honorable mention?
Hardball, where he gets community service. He's a bad gambler. He gets community service, and he ends up going to the an impoverished community. And
3, 2, 1.
Is-
My honorable mention is Hardball.
you
And Dave, I'm talking. The community service, but you know what? I feel like you can talk more about it because I remember you brought it up to me before, and I thought it was funny that you brought it up. But that would be my honorable mention, Hardball. But go ahead, tell me what you're saying.
Yeah, so Hardball. I mean, it was the first time that I saw Keanu Reeves and thought, "Holy shit, this guy can." Keanu Reeves has a very particular way of acting, right?
Yes.
Like he's one of those. He's up there with who's the other one that's really, really bad? Like John Travolta is kind of bad in a good way. Nicolas Cage is bad in a good way. They all have this particular flavor that they can't escape no matter what movie they're in. Keanu Reeves' flavor is surfer dude. It doesn't matter what he's in. I always see him as Bill or Ted, or Bill from Bill and Ted. But Hardball was the first time I was like, oh man, he's like bringing himself to tears. It's true dramatic moments. And it was just a really interesting movie. It was a good underdog story. You have the Little League team that he's tasked with coaching for his community service. And they're the underdog team. He's an underdog in himself because he just keeps getting kicked down. He's a gambling addict, and that's getting him in all the kinds of trouble. So it's him trying to like find redemption for himself by giving these kids a better life, or at least a ray of hope in the shitty existence that is their lives.
So your honorable mention is Hardball.
Yes, absolutely.
My honorable mention is The Replacements with Keanu
I thought you
Reeves.
said your honorable mention was Hardball.
Well, that would have been if you weren't the editor of the show. Now, my honorable mention is going to be Replacements. Now, when you look at this came out of nowhere for me. You got Keanu Reeves with an ensemble cast, and I've never thought.
Hackman.
Well, thank you, brother. That was really good. And you got Keanu Reeves playing this quarterback, which I never would have thought of. And I'm not going to tell you what it reminded me of because that's going to be in one of my top 5. But I just really love this is an offbeat comedy where I felt like, hey, man, after the pressure of the Matrix and all these sci-fi films and all these other things, like, you know, I still like to have fun playing make-believe. That's why I became an actor in the first place. So it was fun. Mm-hmm. And I felt like in this, Shane Falco is like, he's up there with freaking and I don't get me wrong, he's not Al Bundy and Polk High, but you know he's up there with those fantasy quarterbacks out there. So yeah, my honorable mention will be The Replacements for
that's a
Keanu
good one.
Reeves.
That was almost on my list, but he had just a few too many good movies for me to put that one on there. But it was fun because, like you said, the ensemble of characters, the zany cast of characters, like you have the outcasts all making up. It was like the Wildcats, but
I agree. So that was my honorable mention. Now I'm going to go into my number 5. My number 5 is going to be Replicas.
Never seen it.
You should check it out, man. And here's the thing: I had never seen it. I was up one night, probably 2 years ago, on ecstasy, and I was just like, man, I need to find a film or something like. And what I mean by ecstasy, I mean the genre. And so I was watching, and I was like, let me find something. And I was like, wait a minute. A robot sci-fi movie about Keanu Reeves that I never heard of. That's weird. I feel like I am in the Matrix now because, like, why wouldn't I know about this? I mean, I watched it and I was like, oh shit. It had the whole sci-fi element to it, but he wasn't this he was just a smart person that's trying to save his family. And it's and just if you want the 15-second elevator pitch, smart guy gets government contract, try to do the right thing, gets fucked over, then tries to save his family. Sound familiar?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like he gets caught in those situations quite a bit because when you first said that plot, I thought, he's talking about Johnny Mnemonic?
No, I didn't even get
there.
Yeah, I'm talking on the replicas. All very similar. You should actually watch. Your analyst should watch that.
I'll stay right in that vein, and my number 5 is surprise, Matrix. I know even Angela saw. She's like, "That's not in your."
Burying the lead. 5 is Matrix.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's a great movie, and for many other actors, if this were their list, it would probably be in the top 3. But Keanu Reeves has my top 3, and we don't even need to tell you about what's great about The Matrix. The Matrix was just, and we can't even really credit too much of the success of The Matrix to Keanu Reeves. He was great in it. He was perfect for the role, but really what made The Matrix like blow up the way it did was because it was like pioneering in so many special effects, and it was just blowing people's minds.
Very true. But while you say we can't give full credit to him, I think we have to be very careful and also understand that one of the other A-list actors for that role was Will Smith. And I'll be honest with you, as much as I love Will Smith, I would much rather see Keanu Reeves as Neo than Will Smith.
Yeah, I would like to see what that movie would have been like. It would have definitely been.
You saw it.
A different.
It's called I Am Legend
or iRobot.
There you go.
Yeah.
But I.
Yeah. I wanted that fucking role as Neo. Yeah. Yeah. So number 5 is Matrix. Me. What's your number 4?
Number 4 for me, for Keanu Reeves, is going to be Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. I got to take it all the way back because that's a nostalgia moment for me. And you have to understand, I understand Dana Carvey was with him, but you have to understand, when I saw that film.
No, that wasn't Dana Carvey.
Fuck, who was that?
Take that back.
Who was that?
I don't know that guy's
motherfucker.
name. Alex Winters, I want to say. If it's fucking Alex
I got it.
Winters.
3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. My number 4 is going to be Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. And now, while most people will never know the name Alex Winter, that was my guy that played Garth. When you look at this film and you see the role that Keanu Reeves plays, I'll be honest with you, I chalked it up to this will be one of those classic movies I'll watch, but I'll probably never hear from any of these people again. And was Christopher Walken in that movie?
No, that was George motherfucking Carlin.
George motherfucking Carlin. There you go. All right, there we go. Both icons, by the way. So when I watched that film, I just chalked it up as that. And I never would. You cannot tell me Bill S. Preston, you know what I'm saying, becomes Neo. Like that makes no sense unless you're that serious in him. He's a recluse.
Yeah. Now, I would believe that he would become what's his name? Whoever he was, whatever his character's name was, and what is his name? Johnny Montana.
No. Oh, don't do that to me. I'm coming. That's my number 3. Don't do that to me.
But I would believe that he would become that guy from Point
Johnny
Break.
Utah.
Johnny Utah. Yeah, what a fucking Whoa! First I acted like a surfer, now I got to play a cop that acts like a surfer.
Right. I'll listen to your 4 because that's my segue for 3.
So another surprise. There is no Bill and Ted on my list. I agree with everything you said, and I love that movie, and I grew up on it.
It's like catching a young Chris Pratt, in something that was that movie's. I don't know, Strangers with Candy.
It's great, and it holds up, but
it doesn't just hold up, bro. There was more than one.
Yeah,
and it holds up. 3. Remember the twins? They had the twin. Remember Death?
Yeah, Death was the highlight of the whole
Death
series
was the highlight
for me.
of that.
And when they came back for even the last one, like last year, it still holds up.
Bill and Ted Face the Music.
Yeah, but
no Bill and Ted. Wow, that should have been your honorable mention.
They're not my go-tos.
Right.
John Wick isn't on my list either.
You motherfucker, you're finna get killed.
Yeah,
because that
I love John Wick.
Do you? Because it's not on your list.
I love John Wick 6th. My number 4 is Devil's Advocate. Al Pacino. Really, just watching Keanu Reeves do his absolute best to look like somebody who is trained in any way as an actor in scenes versus Al Pacino. And then you get, Charlize Theron looking beautiful as
In
always.
fairness, though, he does. Even though he's trying, he doesn't seem out of place.
No, he does. Well, yeah.
I say he doesn't. He does not seem out of
It was
place.
really good casting because he's like a fish out of water. That whole, he's taken into this world that's bigger than him, and that worked really well. It's the same thing with Matrix. His character Neo, his like non-acting ability works really well in the roles that he chooses or are selected for. Because like Neo is this kind of person that's disconnected from humanity. He's a hacker. He's not very sociable. So, Keanu Reeves' like wooden performance works for that. And it's kind of the same with Devil's Advocate, because he's just like swept into this world by Al Pacino he feels he's just not ready for.
That's your number 4?
Absolutely. It is just, I mean, I can't.
No,
It's been a while since I went back and watched that.
Oh, no, I'm not saying wrong.
I just
That's how
don't
you
know
feel.
how the CGI holds up at the end. But
That's how you feel.
The concept of the movie is
Okay. My number 3, Constantine.
I'll tell you why.
Go ahead, Lee.
I love that movie, but I refuse to watch movies where cancer is a main plot point.
Why? Because you smoke cigarettes?
Yeah, and I can't enjoy the cigarettes.
Actually, you can enjoy them more.
No,
if you want to live, damn it, live.
But I love that. I mean, that's a badass superhero.
Right. I thought you would enjoy it from the religious standpoint because you're
I did.
An atheist.
I like everything about it, but the cancer.
I love it. Tilda Swinton, man.
Yeah, she's in she haunts every movie.
That's like to be honest with you, that's the fucking alien.
That's what I meant when I said cancer.
Well, no, man, fuck you. I love Tilda because let me tell you why. Tilda Swinton's in this. This is the second time she's been cast as a part that's supposed to go to a guy that went to a girl. Remember, she is the one in Doctor Strange. So she's and in the movie you may be rewatching and I fell in love with Vanilla Sky. She's always in some weird shit.
Yeah.
Who are her parents? All right, keep going, man. That's my
parents. She was created.
I love Tilda Swinton, but with that being said, like that's Constantine to me. Like, here's the thing:
trapping people in mirrors. I mean, that's just badass.
But that was also in Doctor Strange with Multiverse of Madness.
But Constantine came first.
It did. Well,
I'm not talking about the comics. I don't.
She said. But with that being said, no. Listen,
I think Sophia Stewart wrote something about catching demons in mirrors in the third eye.
You're still beautiful, Sophia, even though your stories aren't. And with that being said, no, seriously, the Constantine, for me, the reason I was not questioning. I'll be honest with you. Even if somewhere deep down inside I was questioning religion or questioning anything, I had never questioned it before. Everything that had been told to me at that point, you got to imagine I'm around 11 or 13 or 14, maybe 15 when this film comes out. Mm-hmm. That's a big gap, but a 5-year gap. So it was kind of like, oh, maybe there's more than one way to think about it. Because for the first time in my life, I told myself, I'm not saying what I've been reading is wrong. I'm just simply saying that these other people, maybe they're not wrong either, because guess what? The only thing they're doing, they're only telling me their story from what? Their perspective. Mm-hmm. That's 2 or 3 people. I got 12 people and all these different names telling me these different stories. So it made me question religion, and it was very well done.
Yeah. I like.
Come on, man, you're an atheist. Give me more than
the smoking. I just thought it was so
Jesus
fucking.
Christ, Dave.
I just thought it was really cool that usually only the villains smoke in movies. Like that's like some weird clause that Hollywood has.
You can see Predator in 1987. Some cigar smoking.
Well, that was before. That was in the other days.
Oh, you're right.
When they were pushing.
You're right.
It was so cool to see somebody that you're supposed to like this is the hero of the film, and he's just so flawed in every sense. But that's like that religious angle though. Like all throughout the Bible, God is choosing the unworthy to do His work. So
smiting thee.
Thought it was cool.
All right.
My number. What are we on? 3.
Yeah.
My number 3 is. I say that this is the first film that introduced me to Keanu Reeves, only because I didn't know that this guy was the same guy that I had previously seen in the Bill and Ted movies. So I grew up with Keanu Reeves, didn't know who he was. I thought that I saw him for the first time when I watched Speed, which is my number 3. It's a movie that I feel like introduced me to him. It's definitely the movie that introduced me to Sandra Bullock. I fell in love with her in. What's his name?
I know who you're talking about.
Jeff Daniels
Yes.
is amazing in it. Like I'd only seen
Please
him
watch him in the newsroom as well.
the
Very much.
beat. Right, no spoiler,
You're
but
talking about to go
there's
watch.
no. I'm talking about when he's in Dennis Hopper's house, who's also
That's the go watch.
fantastic.
It was the go
Okay.
watch one. That's one. Yes.
That moment when it cuts to his face,
Mhm. That's like the beat of the 90s. That
I'm
like, might
like,
be the
I'm
beat.
like,
Yeah.
oh my God, I just want to find you and hug you because I feel like you've got deep pain somewhere.
That's when you realize acting isn't always on the script.
And that's what I also realized that action films could be so like they could have real drama and real, like there were parts in that were hilarious. Like mostly like Jeff Daniels brought actually the comedic relief and the drama because
it's
he's in the part where he's
you
like,
know what's
he's
beautiful?
like, you shot me.
But you know what's beautiful about that? There's a part of like it's funny, but it's not slapstick. It's not even
Nah.
mainstream. It's like this. It has to be heard there, and it's almost a Chris Farley laughing at it, like laugh at me, but
Yeah.
all I'm gonna get is a gold watch. It's like it was the gold watch, wasn't it? Yeah, my life's not shit. I did all this hard work. All I get is a gold watch.
I love Cat.
Like, was he not 10 years from becoming the killer in
Jeff
Speed?
Daniels?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like,
for
come
sure.
on.
I really like I like movies like that are like cat and mouse where the you don't just have a dumb villain. Dennis Hopper was a very smart
Mhm.
antagonist, and
Yes.
he gave them the run for his money. It was kind of like a puzzle, and kind of like you said with The Replacements, you had this ensemble of characters, except not a football team. You had this like diverse group of crazy people. Like who rides the public bus? Now you have to like solve a crime and save your lives with all these people that are on this bus that happens to have a bomb on it. It was just a lot of fun, and then you're kind of like bought into everything by the end when they're going off the rails literally with it, like, and things kind of start going crazy where a bus jumps an overpass
Yes.
that like jumps the length of half of a fucking football field.
Mm.
And I'm like, you know what? I know that couldn't physically take place in reality,
But
but
hey.
I am feeling this moment. And that's a testament to good filmmaking, to let you buy into something that stretches reality to its limits. It's just
I'm surprised it made it a
good
higher
movie.
your list considering you didn't like Constantine for the smoking when ain't no smoking on my bus, Annie. All right, so now my number 2, great callback, King Connections, motherfucker. My number 2, ironically, is the one, Neo, The Matrix. And the reason why I have that there is because of the fact that, listen, it's not that just Will Smith could have played the character. When it's kind of hard when the studio comes and says we need somebody sexy that can act, that's dark, can be a part of this story, that's a recluse already. Like you can't get somebody that's already out there in public. Like, you got to get a Johnny Depp, you got to get a Keanu Reeves, you got to get somebody that Michael Keaton, somebody we don't always see on screen, but they can play that free. Like if you'd have told me this thing got to play Beetlejuice, play Batman, I wouldn't believe you. But that just shows you the range of like how great you had to be back then.
Yeah.
You know, so with looking at it, Keanu Reeves definitely fits in that category. So when I saw The Matrix, I was like, I mean, I hadn't really researched films before that. I knew what films were and I loved them, but I was like, okay, I'm so in love with this film, I want to find out more. And then when I found out Will Smith was supposed to play him and the other person was supposed to play Morpheus and this, that, and the other, I'm like, I honestly didn't want this with anybody other than Keanu Reeves because he's that mysterious in real life.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you look at all the other roles he's done with the John Mnemonic,
Mm-hmm.
and so Keanu Reeves is that binary. He's that like life's all ones and zeros. So when you watch The Matrix, it's like you're going into almost. And think about this: we will never see Keanu Reeves on TMZ. You never see him in any club pictures. I don't even think he has any social media, which is the weirdest shit in the world.
I said that if I wake up tomorrow and I see some headline that's like kids found in Keanu Reeves' basement or
I'd be
Keanu
shocked.
Reeves in prison, I'm like, you know what?
I'd be shocked.
Reality is fucked. We're done. It's
We
over.
are done, yeah.
Throw in the towel. There's
Yeah.
no hope.
Yeah, man. And then when you think about it, he's almost like, you know how we say Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell's, like they most people say, oh, they're the same person in every movie. We're like, okay, yeah, you can. There's a percentage of you that can say that, but there's a lot of people that can be the same that never get cast again. They're so great at doing what they do, they don't have to do much.
Mhm.
He's that, but in the anti-light. He's not the Mr. He can never be Elf,
Yeah.
but he could be Neo. He can never be freaking Jackie Moon, but he can be these other characters, John Wick and all these other characters, because It's that it's weird. You know what it reminds me of our guy in the original Matrix when he says he was like, when you put my body back in, I want to be somebody like famous, like an actor or something like that. Like really, that's like life fucking life right there when he says that.
Yeah.
All right, so that's my number 2. What is yours?
Number two is Point Break. That movie is just so fun. Patrick Swayze is badass in it. Gary Busey is just
not on trial
enough.
for touching people. That just happened, by the way.
I know.
The point where it breaks.
All of our heroes
falling.
But in that movie, he was like just on the brink of being crazy. And he was just crazy enough to be entertaining, but not so much that you couldn't follow what he was doing. And
skydiving at night, man.
It's got
as Elvis.
Especially for the 90s when you didn't have CGI and like crazy visual effects to lean on with like action and stunts. The sequences in Point Break are so cool. And it has, like, aside from like all the crazy shit that they do, that chase scene when Johnny Utah is chasing Patrick Swayze through all the houses and back through all the alleys and over the fences and past the dogs, and it like climaxes in that crazy moment where his leg gives out on him again because of the backstory that we found out about with his football career, and he ends up shooting the sky the way everybody does in an action film when it's just like really selling the drama. And then all the way to the ending of it just is another one of those action movies where it's not so cut and dry, like good guy, bad guy. They did a really good job of like having the main character that is supposed to be the hero identifying a little too well with the people that he's tasked with taking to jail, and you as the audience kind of become torn. And because they did such a good job again with casting, putting Patrick Swayze in that role, because he's such a likable guy. For him to play the bad guy, he was a believable bad guy, but at the same time, you're like, I don't want to see him go to prison. So the way they ended that movie was even perfect. I won't give away what happens if you, for some reason, haven't seen it yet.
Spoiler alert, you 2,000 kids.
I will say this. He does not go to prison, but he does not get away. So, and he is not murdered by the police.
No. Okay.
Yeah, Point Break is up. And Lori Petty was looking really good in that.
It's not funny you say it, but like it's a lot of people looking like, first off, spoiler alert, Point Break's not going to make my list, but I'm glad it was on your list because I did enjoy the movie. The only issue with me is that because we're just simply doing Keanu, they was kind of like, well, there was so much, the cast, the Buseys and the Russell, that's why I didn't bring that one up. But that was very good, man. So for me, like I said, we've done our honorable mentions, we've done our top 4, and for me, I'm going to go into my number 1 is something we've already talked about, and it's really what, like you just said, the one thing that has in common with what you spoke about earlier. We saw him as Bill and Ted, and we. Not that we didn't think he could do more. We just, I guess we never expected anything else to come up than that, and that's who you're going to be. Mm-hmm. To me, if there was one film that I think if Keanu Reeves himself personally would have said, take all of my other films out of there and give me one to be known as, it's Speed. And for me, I'm going to tell you why. I know for a fact I own that film on VHS. I know for a fact it's almost the ultimate remote movie, and we've talked about that. For our show, the remote movie is you don't need the remote, you don't need batteries. Wherever it's at on that film, when it plays, you watch it. Mm-hmm. When you're talking about Jeff Daniels, and you're talking about the same Jeff Daniels from Dumb and Dumber, which is beautiful because you got 2 guys who played fucking idiots.
Yeah,
Dumb and Dumber and Bill and Ted.
Killing
it. You talk about range. That's something that's no longer talked about in film nowadays. The range. We just talked about Philip Seymour Hoffman earlier in the film, and we're talking about Philip Seymour. I'm fucking filming. Cracker, I'm filming. Could be selling crack. And so, when you look at it, where Keanu Reeves, he could have, like, you looking at Jeff Daniels and you're looking at him, they play these different characters. Like, one's playing in Dumb and Dumber and one's playing in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Like and that's what I've always told you. I don't want people to look at me as just a comedic actor. I know my range. And so looking at these actors nowadays, and that's why I'm putting Speed number one. That's a Hollywood Walk of Fame film. Don't get me wrong. I know what The Matrix is to people, but I don't care what anyone says. The Matrix is not Keanu Reeves and it's not Neo. It is Morpheus. It is Trinity. It is the architect. It is the Oracle. It's all these sums of all these parts. It's even Sophia Stewart. You know why? Because it's a part of the lore. No, I'm being honest. It's a part of the lore. Even when you have lore comes from great stories. Like, oh, there's all these theories. This person did this person that. And the DB Coopers, like, it becomes lore. So when I look at Speed, bro, 55 miles per hour, that wildcat behind the wheel, like the glitch.
50.
Oh, it's 50?
Yeah.
It went 50. Bro, it was 55. B.
No, it was 50.
Bro, it was 55.
When it hits,
look it up on your.
If it goes above 50. Because the reason why I know this is because the bus number is 2525.
And that's
which
50.
Is 50. Yeah, which is like, it's just all, and yeah, that I love Speed. I'm with you. Like, I had that on VHS. I got it on DVD. It was one of those things that stayed in the
And think about it. The villain was in over his head. No pun intended. How did he get killed?
No, it's a solid movie all the way from the beginning.
No, it's not
to the
solid,
end.
Dave.
No,
it's not for. No, I can't speak for you. It's the signing card. Like, to me, for everything Robert Downey Jr. done, I hate that the Marvel thing is going to be what he's remembered for most, but he is fucking Iron Man.
Yeah.
And he's done some great performance. And to me, guess what? Benjamin Cumberbatch may not agree, but he is Sherlock Holmes. To me, he's been all these great Charlie Chaplin.
Mm-hmm.
So when certain artists, like, here's the thing. When you're such a great actor that it makes you like, we should always, as great as a job as he did in The Matrix, we also, anytime somebody sees Keanu Reeves, they should always be like, he's Neo. But no, guess who he is? He's Neo. He's John Wick. He's Bill fucking Preston. He's in he literally should be on the Mount Rushmore of acting.
And
but
he made the smartest decision not to do Speed 2.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sandra didn't.
Yeah, she executive produced the damn thing.
Well, if you're gonna be out there, be out there. So with that being said, guys, those are our.
Well,
oh no,
okay.
I'm sorry. I apologize. Let me hear Mr. Godfrey's number one.
My number one is A Scanner Darkly, which I recommended to you recently. It's Richard Linklater, follow up to like Waking Life. It is based on a Philip K. Dick novel, and it is a mind fuck, not just story wise, not just the concept of it, but how the actual like production and post-production and how they put this movie together and the style that it's done in, where Richard Linklater literally shot a whole film traditionally and then had, like, I don't remember how many, but a lot of visual effects artists painting over every single frame. Not done with like AI, not done like automatically in software, painting over every frame so it looks like a living comic strip. That's and the resemblance of, and they do crazy stuff with the effects. Like it's just a great movie. And then you have Rory Cochrane, and Robert Downey Jr. is actually in that.
Sure. What's the name again?
A Scanner Darkly.
When did it come out? What year?
It's
around what time?
The early 2000s.
Okay.
It's a mind fuck of a film. Like, it's up there with, you don't want to be drunk when you watch it because it kind of makes you feel fucked up anyway. It's like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas for conspiracy theorists. It's really crazy. So that's my number one. Keanu Reeves is great in it, and it's another one of those movies where he's surprising. He surprises you with his ability to be dramatic. There's a moment in there where he's kind of having a realization of the reality of everything that's going on around him, and you see him in this light that you never see him in any movie that you've watched him in before. He plays an addict in it, a drug addict that's addicted to this drug that's being supposedly perpetuated by the government that makes people, that just fucks people. I don't want to say
kind of like
too
the
much.
pills he takes in the Matrix 4.
Exactly, kind of like red pill, blue pills for sure.
I thought you were gonna go.
So our top 5 are up there. Before we get out of here, want to compare our stuff to Rotten Tomatoes. What the critics say on Rotten Tomatoes. Number 5 is Parenthood. Number 4 is Side by Side.
I guess whatever.
Number 3 is Speed.
Whatever.
Number 2 is Dangerous Liaisons.
Horrors.
Number 1 is Toy Story 4.
Oh, you can't.
And
spoil
he was great in that.
But the fact that out of their top 5, only one of our movies made their list. That's not a credible fucking list.
The audience top 5, according to audience, is Much Ado About Nothing.
I guess.
Number 4 is John Wick 3, which none of the John Wicks made our list.
But we respect them.
Yeah.
I respect the fuck out of. Yeah, I respect.
The fact.
But you know why I didn't bring it up? Because they're saying he's the same character from the Matrix and John Wick. That's why I didn't bring it up. Like it's the same guy.
And the fact that they're coming up on the 5th one.
Like, come on, 2 in production come on now.
The first one came out 7 years ago.
Like, come on.
Yeah. Number 3 is DC League of Super Pets. Shout out to David Pressman. Number 2 is Toy Story 4, and number 1. This is kind of a letdown. Number 1 is The Great Warming, which is a documentary that was made in the early 2000s that he narrated.
You know what? Fuck that. Fuck all those. I'm going with 87 Ronin.
Okay. I haven't seen it.
Oh, motherfucker, it goes hard.
I've seen the trailer.
It goes fucking hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He did a much better job than Tom Cruise in The Last Samurai. So with that being said, guys, hey, we fucking know Keanu. Do you? Tell us your top 5. Get in the comments and hey, listen. Remember, if you don't remember anything other than to subscribe, there is no spoon.
I know Kung Fu.
I still know it. Eat it, kids. That's what I'm talking about. Hey guys, hey gals, did you like that?
Mm-hmm.
I know I did. And here's something YouTube thinks you'll like. They've actually recommended. What do you recommend?
I recommend that if you have not subscribed to our channel, that you please click right down there and make sure you correct that wrong this very instant.
Let me ask a question. Where can they find us?
All those places over there, we're everywhere. Everywhere.
We thought we could do a cooler outro. We're just going to walk away now.